name is Anne, and this is Toby, and welcome to a Tobyknits Quilty Fun, episode 53. Yes, it's been an age, a complete and utter age since I did a Quilty Fun video. And why? I think I fell out of love a little bit with sewing, with quilting. I don't really know why. I think cross stitch has got a lot to answer for because I'm really more enjoying that right now than anything. But I still love my quilting and I've got tons of projects I want to finish. So I figured as my main focus, as you know, is floss tube this year. They're every Wednesdays. My knitting and crochet is this first and second Mondays of the month, so every 2 weeks basically, but Quilty Fun will be once a month, and that way it gives me time to work or not work depending on how I'm feeling on my project and have something exciting, I hope, to show you each month. It's kind of like a monthly wrap-up of what I've been sewing, so I think that's a bit more my way. Plus, to be honest with you, I did notice from all my stats and analyses on my YouTube channel, not as many people watch the quilting ones as they do the floss tube and the knitting. So it was better to not put so much time into that one and more time into the others, which is what I'm doing. So anyway, last time I think I put a video out, I was showing you the retreat that I went on. And I had hoped, that was back in October, and I had hoped that that retreat would get me back into sewing, into quilting. Just being around all the women who did it, having all day to spend on just sewing, nothing else. Well, it was 2 days, but I ended up having to come home because I was super sick with that ridiculous cold that I had. And that never seemed to go away. You remember that one? Yeah. But I did manage to quilt while I was there around the kitchen table. And as you know, I like to quilt as you go. So the way I did this particular one was, and if I can find some pictures to recap your memory, I'll put them in. I quilted the batting and the front piece together in a block, then attached the blocks to each other and trimmed back in the seam the batting, and I put the whole thing together as one piece with no backing fabric. Then when it was all together in as one piece, when I got home, I had bought some lovely flannel, so I cut the flannel out the same size as the quilt itself, now completed, and I made borders in the same fabric, the flannel, and I put that all together and just stitched in the ditch some of the blocks. So the front was very much quilted. The back was just 9 squares if you really look hard at it. But it was a lot of fun to do it that way, and I actually liked doing it that way a lot because you didn't have to faff about cutting the backing fabric, and it just looks nicer than having all these extra strips of bits and pieces everywhere. Anyway, I did enjoy doing it that way. And here is a picture of the finished quilt because this was gifted to my stepdaughter for Christmas. So she has it now, and apparently they all love getting underneath it on the couch watching telly. So that's the whole point of making quilts, right? For them to be used. So I was really pleased with that. The other thing I did, and again, if I can find a picture, I actually put together Tree of Life, but I didn't quilt it yet. I finished it. Tree of Life is, oh, I should have explained really, shouldn't I? Around the Kitchen Table was a flash fiction monthly mystery. I was coughing then. Around the Kitchen Table was a flash fiction mystery monthly quilt along, you got a chapter of a story and then a quilt block that went with that chapter over 12 months. And I think I did it in 2022, but I never put it together. I finished all the blocks, but I didn't put them together. So I wanted to give this to my stepdaughter, so that's what I did. I got it all finished, quilted, and gave it to her. Tree of Life is a Cotton Cuts monthly mystery, and that one was currently they're on Wild West. I think there's a new one starting or started. I didn't sign up for that one this time. But Tree of Life was the one before that. And it's a beautiful colors quilts. And that's really nice. And so I put it all together, but I hadn't quilted because I wasn't sure how I wanted to quilt it. So here, I think this is a picture of it on my design wall. If it isn't, I'm sorry. I thought I took one. So that's what I got finished from last October to now. Not a lot. Oh, I did also finish a bag. This is a bag for my friend, Karen, and she gave me some fabric and asked me to make her a bunch of cross-stitch bags. So this is what this is, and I have to make her some more. This was the only one I made. I made this one so I could see if I had the enough fabric and the right shape and stuff to make it. And it worked out quite well. It was a panel, I think. So I just wasn't sure if it would work, but it did. It took me a while to figure it out, but I got there in the end. So I have to make a bunch of those for her and with some other fabric she gave me. So what are my plans for this year with regards to quilting? Do I still want to do it? Absolutely, I still want to do it. Do I still want to share it with you? Absolutely, I still do. But I want to do something a bit different this time. What I'd like to do, because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 partially finished quilts over there in boxes. Some of them need 2 or 3 blocks to finish them. Some of them need to be quilted. Some of them need to be all put together. The blocks are done, but they're not pieced together. So rather than go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, I decided this year I'm not going to buy any more new ones. I'm not going to take part in anything new this year. I am going to finish everything I've got. Because up here in my cabinet here, I have got 6 or 7 Fat Quarter Shop boxes, monthly boxes that came in when I was subscribed to them in 2022, 23. That again are quilts to be put, and I haven't even touched them. So I don't need to buy anything. I don't need to do anything other than backing fabric, maybe. That's probably it. So my plan is to finish everything one at a time and only work on one project until it's finished. Another reason why I only want to show you these once a month, because you're not going to want to see every week the same quilt that I'm working on. And there are 2 that I am interested in pulling out and either finishing or starting because they're both for my grandchildren. Evie has a quilt that I made her. It's on the bed here that she sleeps in when she's here. And Tristan has one that I made him that's at his house. I don't know if he sleeps with it. I'm not really sure, but he's got one. So Leo, the lovely Leo, and Sweet Sunny need their own quilts now. Now I had made this one for Leo because it was all, let me see if I can stand up and show you this. This is, I think it's Piazza, which was a Cotton Cuts one 4 ago, and it is very bright and very sunny and very very nice, and it has on it sea animals and things. There are tortoises turtles and fishing nets and seahorses and shells all over it. And so this was one that I did put it all together, but then didn't do anything with it because I wasn't sure if it was the right quilt for Leo, even though he loves sea animals and everything. But I wasn't sure if this was going to be right. It was too bright. It was too bright for Leo. So, of course, when they came and surprised the life out of us in last month, when they showed up right before Christmas to spend Christmas with us, I was lucky enough that I could have some time with Megan, and I asked her which quilt, and I showed her this one. I showed her oh gosh, I can't remember what it was. Another Cotton Cuts one, something about a garden. Anyway, that one. And another one which I hadn't started, which was a fat quarter shot one. And I said, which one do you think Leo would like the most? And she picked this one, which I had originally intended this to be his. So I went out and I got myself some beautiful flannel backing, all shooting stars. And this will keep him nice and warm. And there is blues in here, so we'll kind of go with it, but it was more for comfort and for him than it was, because this is very strange, this fabric, because it's got the metallic in it. It's very hard. It's not soft cotton, so I wanted a soft cotton for behind. So I am going to finish this first by quilting it. Now, I'm still struggling to decide because it's all one and it's hard to get a piece, which is a single bed, through the small sewing machine. So I'm thinking I might not actually quilt it, but do the really old-fashioned quilt that they used to, where they put yarn through to pin them all together. I can't remember what that's called. If I can remember the name, I'll put it below here. So I think I might do that and not actually, I'll just sew the backing, the batting and the backing all together, all around the edge, because that'll be easy. You're only putting one part of the thingy through. I'll do the binding and then I'll just do the, oh gosh, I wish I could remember the name of it. There's got to be a name for it. So I think I'll do that and for him. So, because this is enough without having the colors, without having all kinds of extra stitches all over it. So I think that's what I'm going to do for that. And we are hoping to go out, well, we are going out to see them on February 14th. We're taking the train to go to Nova Scotia. It's 24 hours on the train. And we'll be sleeping there, obviously. So if I have that finished, that can be our blanket while we're on the train. Because I've got to pack it and take it with me, right? May as well just carry it on in a bag, and that's our blanket. So that has to be done. That's the first thing I want to work on. The second thing I want to work on is I am still keeping up. Well, keeping up, she says, of course you're not keeping up, Anne. I'm still trying to work on my Cotton Cuts Crimson Canyon, which is actually Wild West. It's not the colorway I'm using is Crimson Canyon. So I'm doing the Wild West, and I have done Clue. I have 4, 5, 6, and 7 to catch up on. That's how far behind I am with these. So the other night I was talking to my friend Bonnie. We often do video chats together and sew, and so we did that, and I got 2 of these blocks done. So 2 of the clues, and each clue has different parts of the big quilt that you end up making. So I had to make 4 of these. So, and there's what my back looks like with my 1/4 inch seam, all folded the way you're supposed to fold them. So there are 4 of these. And then there were 2 of these in this color. So it's the same layout, but different. So this was an easy one to do because it was just straight blocks. And then this one we had to do 2 of these, which make no sense to me. That makes no sense to me at all. And they, like, this is a different pattern to this. It's very hard to tell sometimes, but this is a different pattern and there's it there. So again, I love doing these because they're quick and easy. They're pre-cut for you. But where does this go? Like, it's a lot of fun putting them together in Clue 10. So that was number 4 that I got done, and that literally didn't even take me an hour to sew all those up. And then I did Clue 6 because again I looked at them, such a cheat I am, and there wasn't as many pieces in this as there was in 5 and 7. So I just worked on this because this was 2 pieces of this. There are 2 of them. And again, very, very pretty. I have no idea where this is going to go in the fabric. Isn't it pretty though? I like that. So those I got done. Now I just have 5 and 7, and then I'm caught up to date. 8 just got sent out. So we're nearly at the end of that one too. But I just want to do them. And what I like about them is when I've decided I'm going to sew, I get one of those out, sew that, and it gets me right back into it. You know what I mean? Because it's already there for you, cut. You just have to sit down and sew it. So I love that. So I will still be keeping up doing those. I'm not, whether I do once a month or once a week, I don't know. Or whether I just do them till I'm caught up, I don't know. But I will be sewing one of them. So there'll always be one of them for me to show you. And the last thing I want to do, which is a kit that I bought at my favorite quilting shop in Merrickville, Taylor's. And it's a kit. So everything is here. I don't have to do any, I don't think there's backing fabric, but that's okay. But it is to make this quilt that I want to make for Sunny. And it's a panel. And then these are all going to be strips. And obviously I'll have to make these out of the stuff. And here is all the fabric. Everything is in here. Look. So this is going to be fun. And this one I will have to cut and sew all together and then quilt it. So this is the second big project I want to work on after that one is done. And these are the only 2 projects and the cotton cuts that I'm going to work on until I see you next. Because, and bag making. I have to make the bags for my friends, and I need a couple more cross-stitch bags because of course I've started 2 more cross-stitch projects that were not in my plan. So anyway, that's what I've been doing. And so again, I hope you will come and join me once a month, and we will have a chat about all my sewing and quilting fun that I'm having. And yeah, that's all I have for you today. I will be back on Monday for a Tobyknits knitting and crochet. So see you then. Okay, bye.